Welcome back, my little recusants, to another trek through the ark. We have just defeated Sid Reigns, and we've now another Crystarium expansion, and oh my goodness, do we have a lot of crystal points to gather to get to max level. So we do have an awful lot of battles through here, but I'm gonna cut them out, and I've also learned, hey, I can speed stuff up. Now, the audio won't be synced for these kind of sped up bits, but at the same time it's like, look, we're just running through a corridor. I don't want to cut it out in case you guys want to know the path that I took, or like if there's a treasure chest or something, then it's like, oh well, where's that? So like we just have to, and also the music will get all distorted if I speed it up too much. So look, we have like, you know, the nice music, and we know roughly where we're going, and I just thought, look, it makes the videos that little bit more digestible, that little bit more just quicker to breeze through. And like, spoiler, when we get to like a bit later on in the series, there's an awful lot of like trekking to different places, and I suppose this is just a handy way for us to kind of, you know, get through bulky sections where not an awful lot of stuff is happening. And like I say, here's our guys' stats with their equipment and whatever, and you know, we're kind of hoping to find at least some upgrade materials to get Hope's magic boosting stuff super high, because he's ultimately one of the best sources of damage in the game, because when things get staggered, the Firas from Ravengers does extraordinary work. And ultimately the game doesn't lie. The game basically says, this is here to make you stronger, therefore to make you stronger, we have to fight. So I'll just leave this one in, because I don't want it just to be all us running down a corridor. But once again, I have to just highlight the game's, you know, combat in terms of there are so many different ways you can kind of organize your party, organize your paradigms with the different party members, and like these particular guys, they hit like an absolute truck, so probably a sentinel would be good. This particular party setup doesn't have sentinels, so we just have to play to our strengths, which is, you know, get these little pulse work knights staggered as quickly as possible, so at least one of them stops attacking. And now we're going to just, using our waterers, take them out in like 2 seconds. So it's all about the kind of ebb and flow of the fights, but, and like, it's a positive thing in one sense, but it's like a negative for editing, I suppose, is that the combats are actually so well balanced for each period of the game that there's no kind of, oh, I can just like one-hit things. You know, the battles do take time. There's no kind of like, oh, I just grind and then I just hit X a couple of times and I'm just winning within 10 seconds. So it does mean the fights do take a little bit of time. There's no kind of breezing through any of them. They all have their particular strategies to kind of go by. So on the one hand, it's great because there's always a constant challenge, but on the other hand, for like editing, it's like, oh, I just want to like get through this dungeon and get to the next fun part of the game. Not that this part isn't fun, but like it's just very light on cutscenes. There's not much story to be happening, and in terms of rewards that we're getting, like, yeah, we're getting cool weapons, I suppose, but it's just one of those things where I know there's some really good stuff coming up that I just want to like get to, you know? So we're going to just be cutting out some of the fights, and for prolonged areas of exploration, I'm going to basically just hit fast forward, and I hope you guys don't mind that. I hope it's not a complete, you know, game changer that you're like, oh, this is so ridiculous, I can't believe you're not showing every detail or whatever. But it's just the fact that like even when it comes to like the Crystarium levels, that there's so many more battles we need to do to even get some levels, and I don't know, as much as I do want like you know, we have to do 100% of the game. That's not going to be an easy task. At the same time, I want these episodes that I'm making for you guys to be digestible and, you know, fun to look at. So the one trick with at least this part of the Crystarium is that it actually ends up giving an awful lot of the characters. Oh, there's a new weapon for Snow. It's basically useless. It lowers his strength dramatically to give him a boost to magic, which Snow isn't going to be a main Ravager. He's going to basically be using his big HP to tank. So that's kind of rough. I realize the audio is out of sync, so I apologize for that. But whenever we get back to like moments in the battles, it resyncs fairly well. So I just hope that isn't too much of an annoyance. But we end up near a like double battle between the imps and the Pulsework Knights. So we're literally just gonna take out those guys, keep the stagger high, and then now that they're disabled, we get through the fight really quickly. So, you know, when you're looking at the spell list and it's like, oh, you've like Dispelga or Impelga, you know, it's AoE, so if it doesn't land the first time, like, what's the point in that? But in a scenario like that battle we just saw, what's really good about that potentially is the fact that you're able to, alright, I'm able to literally keep the stagger going on all these different enemies. And we're just gonna go back, lose aggro, and then basically preemptively strike the behemoth. And we're able to use the Saboteur's slow stagger build to basically let us get up some buffs, and then we're pretty sure there's going to be good debuffs. We can now launch and KO before it can do its big regen power boost. So lickety split there for that battle, that's why I left it in. But yeah, that weapon we got for Snow, kind of terrible. We definitely don't want that as like his whole situation. But in this part of the Crystarium, I think that's what I was talking about before. Sorry guys, in this part of the Crystarium, an awful lot of the characters get extra ATB segments. So you just need to kind of find which role is going to offer that, and like Vanille's is the medic, and it's actually at the very start, which is, you know, quite good. She and Hope are the only ones, and Fang, Hope and Fang are the only ones that don't have 4 segments yet, so it's nice to kind of have them catch up soon, you know? This one of them, once again, it's another one of those shared fights. They're both weakened, but yeah, he is, that's a tougher one. In these particular locked off areas, there's treasure, so it's obviously a reward from going through this. But you end up having to fight a really tough enemy. So let's talk about how we did that, shall we? So the same thing, we're going to just start the stagger, keep it slow, and buff ourselves, debuff the enemies. That's kind of our opening number. Vanille landed poison straight away, so absolutely brilliant. That's going to be doing tons of damage over time, even when we're like healing and stuff.
Thanks.
So now that we've gotten the barbed fire, his attacks are going to be doing very, very little. And we have that sword now. The sword's also been poisoned. Like, is it rust? How is it damaging it? How is an inorganic object, you know, being poisoned to death? I'm not entirely sure. But we've all our defenses, so now we do not have to worry about putting on the high offenses, getting the stagger and getting him in the air with a launch, and then it's basically like game over. Yeah, I probably should have some sort of like, you know, commando Ravager medic just so we can keep on the offensive and recuperate a little bit. But we're gonna just hop over to Triple Rav get the stagger bar high, because the higher the stagger bar, the more damage we end up doing. So watch this now. Lightning's doing well into the 3000s, and the HP is just dissolving or melting away like butter. Super duper useful. Not too hard. But we didn't do exactly stellar for whatever reason. But now that we've gone through, we've unlocked the way back. This is basically a complete diversion. But well worth it to get those 3 electrodes, question mark? I'm not sure. Once again, we're just gonna back around this corner and get to the save point, save, and then continue up the way with this elevator. Are they gonna pull the same shenanigans and have us land in combat while on the elevator? Of course they are! I love it. Even the characters are like, oh, not again. Don't do this just again. This is the same thing that happened the last time, game developers. The original, please. Breaking the 4th wall and all. So, just gonna run around with the Neo. Now, I was like checking these corners. There's no treasure chests. So we fight and we continue on. I literally was like running in loops there. And then fiddling with the menus, like just make our way down this corridor. This corridor is an exercise in patience. It literally just throws enemies at you as you run along it. I know they say like the rule of 3, but like we did not need 3 battles of the same dancer enemies. Oh, the whole way down. Super annoying. But yeah, like this episode is kind of just finishing up the arc now. Otherworldly bones. Interesting. Little organic materials, but let's get back to Hope and let him have a bit of a run around. And he's getting so close to that ATB and that roll level, we just have to keep pushing on. But yeah, this point of the game is really frustrating because it's like, oh, there's like way more of a Custarium, but like you aren't getting the same grind opportunities as you once did, and then you're also like, oh, it just takes a long time. I just aren't getting EXP at a rate that I'm actually able to get like a level or 2 fairly easy. And we just have to get through more of these enemies 2 more times, and then we have a pretty major cutscene coming up. But like you've watched these similar kind of fights before. These guys are just kind of like massive centurions. And I just want to follow up on Lightning's point. She basically says, if these things escaped, they would literally be leaving the arc into the very center of Cocoon. So Cocoon just has these crazy monsters and, you know, weapons of war just ready to literally destroy Cocoon. Like, why do they need us? They have all these monsters at the ready.
Face it head on.
And we now have Imperil up, and we have like all of our different boosts there. So we're just gonna keep building the stagger and finish it before the stagger ends, hopefully. Keep it going with some thunders. We've like removed its resistances with Imperil. Arrow, interestingly, actually keeps the enemy hovered in the air longer. So if you want to keep them launched, you can just pepper them with arrows and they'll more than likely stay up there for longer. And that's the difference in a preemptive strike. So, I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to end here. I really hope you guys don't mind a cliffhanger, but I will talk to you guys next episode. Have a good one.
Looks like it's a dead end.
How about down there?
If the stories are right, it's a maze.
This place is a boot camp for Lassie. All kinds of challenges from Grand Pulse are waiting.
Challenges, huh? To get us all ready to go wipe out Cocoon?
We can wait here if turning Seath sounds better.
I have had enough of this! Where's the way out?
Way out? Who said there was one? Bring it on. My mind is made up. Maybe I will end up a Seath. But until that happens, I'm gonna make Sarah proud. I couldn't bring myself to admit that this tear meant goodbye. And that's why I kept searching for her. But I didn't need to. Sarah was here the whole time. Right here. Watching over me. Now I get it. What this tear's been telling me is to not let our focus win. It's not the foul sea we should listen to. It's Sarah and Reigns. Do you know why? Because our focus doesn't matter. What matters to me is that we protect Cocoon. Whatever it takes.
Same here. I'll help you do it.
All right. I'm in. Hey.
I mean, come on. When a chocobo agrees, you know you're on the right path.
There you go. That's
Well,
right.
Count me out.
What?
If you all want to go it on your own, then so will I.
Hey,
Bang.
hey, now. Hey.
Let Cocoon get what's coming. They hate us for being Lassie. What's it to me if they die? Better that than watch a friend go Seath. If you don't have the nerve for it, I'll do it myself. Go on alone, get stronger, and smash Cocoon out of the sky! You turn Seath and there's no coming back! I'm not... letting it end that way! What's he doing here? Come to take pity on me? Come to take care of a broken Lassie?
That thing's here to help us?
Yeah, help. That's what Eidolons do. They help us. Eidolons are our salvation. If we can't decide what to do next, they come put us out of our misery!
Wait, so you haven't made up your mind yet?
Why are you protecting me? What are you doing?
Protecting one of our own. We can do without their brand of mercy. And we don't need a Fal'Cie's orders either. I'm fighting this focus to the end. We all are. So please, fight with us.
Darkness slippered